Just press got it if you see that.
Mm-hmm.
Mom.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda and I am the moderator. And today we are showcasing your psychic tarot friends. We have two psychics on the panel. Today we have psychic for lovers known as Pastor Moses. She is a spiritual pastor. She is a psychic, tarot card reader, clairvoyant, claircognizant, intuitive, and dream interpreter. With over 30 plus years of experience, she's worked as a psychic online with Keen, live advice, and 5-star psychic advice. Her website is www.psychicforlovers.com. She does private readings and her YouTube channel is Psychic FOUR Lovers. Janet is the second psychic on our panel with over 40 plus years of experience. She has been on over 100 plus TV shows such as David Letterman, Sally Jesse Raphael, Regis and Kelly, The Joe Franklin Show, Joy Dayhow, and multiple radio shows. She is a psychic, clairvoyant, clairsentient, aura reader, medium, picture reader, palmistry, handwriting, pet psychic, and healer. Her contact info is bklyn gym123@gmail.com. Today we are doing general readings and paid readings. There are two options to get a paid personal readings. You can pick between Janet for $5 per question, or you can pick between Janet for $5 per question. The second option is a paid reading. Psychic for Lovers will be able to answer the same question free of charge if you go to her YouTube channel and like and subscribe. Her YouTube channel is Psychic FOUR Lovers. Today we will be going into Pastor Moses, and she will pick a pile looking into Mercury retrograde. Pastor Moses, would you mind starting, please?
Sure. I need a pile. 1, 2, or 3.
Probably 3.
3? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. So this is 3. So let's see how Mercury retrograde is affecting whoever picks or think about they want pile 3. So what it tells me is that how Mercury in retrograde is affecting you is that you're procrastinating. You're just putting things off. You're not doing what you have to do. And you're kind of wanting not to deal with it because there's too much conflict. In other words, you don't want to deal with conflict. You want to just put your head under the covers and just want it to go away. But they're saying if you deal with it and do not procrastinate, then you'll get past it. Things will go smoother. So it's really about procrastinating, putting things off, not taking care of business because it's just a little too hard right now and you don't want to face it. But if you face it, things will get better.
Thank you for that, Pastor Moses.
You're welcome.
So next we will be going into Janet, and she will be discussing the different auras and what they mean. Janet, would you mind starting, please?
Yes, I wanted to start with the I call the magical color of red, because red is a very lucky color for, it's a luckier color than all the other energies. So if you want to feel extra lucky that day, keep something red on you. And I use it all the time to be lucky. It makes a big thing. Now, if a person is a person that is, here's the personality traits of a person that is, like a red aura. When you see someone and you see red around them, you don't know you're seeing it, but your mind's eye might say, oh, I think that person reminds me of red. It is a winning color. And for the males, it's the color of fire and action and passion, of life itself, birth, stimulating, intense. It's highly charged. It's will, ego, potential. On a negative side, because you have a choice to be positive, negative, or in between, anger, aggression, lust, war, courage, strength, fear. It has to be guarded because it's wild and unpredictable. And the personality of a red person is bold and dynamic and impulsive, extra in, highly extroverted, passionate when around, and whether he is in love or in just in, a cause, they are aggressive and they're always doing things and they're on the go. A need for a cause, they are the protectors, and they are the ones that do all the building of countries, and they're like the leaders if they choose to go that high. It's an exciting color.
Thank you, Janet. I really enjoyed hearing about the auras. And next, we will be going into our topic of the day. So our topic is why when some people contact psychics, they are not open to hearing the truth. Pastor Moses, would you mind starting for the audience, please?
Sure. People call psychics, including myself, wanting to really hear what they want to hear. So example would be if they're in a relationship or say the relationship broke up, they want to hear that that person is really miserable without them. They really love them. They want to come back. They really regret things. Who don't want to hear those things? It makes us feel good, and I, as a psychic, or, Janet and all the real psychics, not the ones that's going to be telling you things to sugarcoat, to sugarcoat what they see, just tell you lies in order to make you feel good so you can become a regular client. We tell you the truth. So we'll tell you that if it happens that the man is not, really in love, if the man is just kind of taking you for granted or using you, if the man is moved on or he's not coming back, we'll tell you the truth. I mean, we're not trying to hurt you. That's not our intention. And we're trying to give it to you as gentle as you can. But I don't know how gentle you can get when you're trying to tell somebody that something that they don't want to hear. So when people call and they want to hear certain things and you don't tell them what they want to hear, they tend to be, they can be either nasty, you know what I mean? They can be angry. They can bash you. They can hang up the phone. They can just, feel like they got the wrong psychic because they're not hearing what they want to hear. So the basic thing is that they want to hear what they want to hear. And this is why when they call you, they're not ready. And if they're not ready, they shouldn't call a real psychic, because you have to be open to whatever, whatever they say. You don't have to believe everything. That's on you, but you got to be open to hearing it and put it together. Does it make sense? You know what I mean? Say, for instance, if y'all broke up and he's not trying to contact you, he ain't trying to hear you, he blocked you. Now, how are you thinking that he wants to come back? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or, he's going through all this pain, whatever. He's kind of not trying to deal with you. So if that's the case, then you want to hear it different than what's really going on. And this is what make people feel a sense of like, oh, I'm angry because, Janet told me this the other day, and there was a thing where they killed the messenger. You know what I mean? Back in the days, right? So the messenger would get killed because he's bringing bad news, even though the messenger had nothing to do with that. That was a dangerous job to go to the king and say something that the king don't want to hear. So they killed the messenger. This is the same kind of, philosophy.
Wow, thank you for that, Pastor Moses. That was very informative.
Thank you.
So, Janet, would you mind explaining to the audience why when some people contact psychics, they are not open to hearing the truth?
I think that people that have come for readings, usually it's a need for hope and wisdom. And they know psychics know about life, and that psychics have some kind of people wisdom. And they feel that but they really, really want them to say what they want to hear, that everything's going to be okay. And usually psychics can do that if that's true, but they're not to say to someone that maybe is going to be broke, and I'll say, please prepare yourself, because it's going to get even harder. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe that, like sometimes some girls are very nasty to the guys they go out with. They put them down, and they're critical, and reverse from males to females. And you try to tell them, you can't treat somebody that way. You have to also change your attitude. Oh no, I'm pretty, or I'm this, or I'm that. I don't do really anything wrong. It's all him, or, reverse. So they don't want to change them. They want everybody around them to change. So they're not going to be likely to believe you when you tell them. You have to start being kinder, and you're not showing whatever is wrong with them that's hurting the other person. When you bring out something that they're causing a problem, they're not going to want to believe it. And they also don't want to believe that TV lies, and there's so many lies on the news. It's all lies. They want to believe that, who they're going to vote for. They want to believe in it. They like a life of believing, but they don't want to face reality. And psychics know reality.
Wow, that was great. Thank you, Janet. So next we're going to go into our celebrity tidbit. Today we are talking about Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams is a socialite who was a journalist, and she also had her own show where she spoke about celebrity hot topics. For quite some time she was married, and then over time things have changed in her life. So my first question is for Pastor Moses. Did Wendy Williams know before the public that her husband Kevin Hunter was having an affair with Shania Hudson?
Okay, let's see if she knew before the public knew that he was having an affair. Yeah, she did. She knew. She knew because he was spending a lot of money. He was spending a lot of money, and she was not knowing where this money is going. So she found out, and she even threatened to end it with him, but she chose to stay married. I feel like he lied, and she kind of believed, because it ties into what we talk about when we said why psychics, why people come to psychics and they're not willing to hear the truth. It was like that. She wanted to hear that he still wanted to be with her, that he wasn't cheating on her. She wanted to hear all that stuff because it made her feel good, and she wasn't ready to end the marriage. But so she stayed in the marriage, even though she knew for a little while that he was having an affair, but it just seemed like this woman was getting a little more cocky. The energy feels like this woman is feeling like, what I mean, that Wendy was in her way, and that she was the wife and Wendy was the other woman. You know what I mean? So the woman was being a little more cocky, and being a little, it was getting a little disrespectful is what I want to say. So yes, she knew.
Thank you, Pastor Moses. So
Welcome.
the next question is for Janet. Did Wendy Williams know before the public?
I'm sorry, can I interrupt? Isn't it 2 questions for me, then 2 questions for Janet? Don't we do 2 and 2? Isn't it 6 questions total?
Yeah, but okay, so how did Wendy handle the divorce emotionally, Pastor Moses?
Okay, yeah, finish me first and then go to Janet so we don't go back and forth. Okay, thank you, baby. Okay, how did she handle the divorce? Okay, hold on. Oh, I don't know why these cards are upside down. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's get to it. Okay. I feel like, first of all, he was happy to get the divorce. For whatever reason, I feel like he was ready to end this. So he was happy. She felt alone, abandoned, unhappy. She wanted to hold on to the marriage still, but it feels like that's something that he wanted. He was happy with that. I feel like he got tired of sneaking around. He got tired of, you know, he just was thinking about this other woman. I feel like he fell for her and he wanted to marry her. So I feel like he was just happy to get divorced. And Wendy was just feeling abandoned and hurt and a sense of betrayal. And she felt like he lied to her all these years, took advantage of her. So she wasn't really good with that at all. She didn't feel good. She didn't feel good or even relieved about the divorce. It was hard for her.
Thank you, Pastor Moses.
You're welcome.
So for Janet, did Wendy Williams know before the public that her husband, Kevin Hunter, was having an affair?
She said something was wrong because Wendy is a very special energy and she needs encouragement and she needs admiration from the guy that she's going to be with and put her heart into. And all of a sudden he was fading out, not giving her attention, not being close and distracted. So then she felt, wait a minute, there's something wrong. He's not into me like he should be. So she had a hunch something was going on, but she didn't really want to know so fast. But then she did find out, and she wanted so bad to go into denial and not have to feel a sense of doom that was coming, because for her to do that wonderful stuff she did for everyone and making them feel good and encouraging just ordinary, regular people that they were special the way they were. They didn't have to be anything as they should, that people try to tell them they should be. She did so much good for people, and she just needed someone to do the good for her. But he just did not give her the time or the energy or the closeness that she needed. And so she found out.
Wow. I agree, Janet. That was very good because that's exactly what I was picking up. I agree. Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you, Janet. So the next question for Janet is, how did Wendy handle the divorce emotionally?
Wendy is devastated. She is so unhappy. You can't imagine the pain that she feels. You can't go from the top and feeling a wonderful thing where you're helping and admiring and all these people love you and admire you, and then all of a sudden you're home alone with feeling like, what did I do wrong? I'm such a good, wonderful, caring person, despite little faults, but I mean, why did I gave my heart to someone, and I opened my heart. I opened it to one person when everybody wanted to be in my heart, and he destroyed me, and he just rejected me. And that is the worst feeling in the world. And she's just going into her higher self with her angels, and they're trying to help her to recover. And hopefully she gets enough support that she can now handle all the other things people are like kicking someone when they're down. And that's how she is now, down. She will come back up because of all the good people around her will help her, but it'll take a while.
Thank you, Janet. I really appreciate what you said about her and, coming back from that. So next we're going back into our general readings, and Pastor Moses will pick a pile for what she sees in Mercury retrograde.
Okay, cool. Okay, Janet, you want to pick a pile? I have one or two.
Number one.
Okay, all right, no problem. She knows what she wants. Okay, so number one, Mercury in retrograde. Let's see how it affects Mercury in retrograde. The people who pick number one. So what it feels like, a relationship, a serious relationship, a marriage, a living together relationship. And it feels like while we in Mercury in retrograde, this marriage or living together situation, serious relationship, you're trying to hold on to it. You're really trying to hold on to it with dear life. And that's where we get the Four of Pentacles. You don't want to let this go. So it feels like, but then they're showing me the moon, which is telling me that there's some deception, you know, your self-deception going on, that you're trying to hold on to something that really is not really working and is not working for both of y'all. But you just want to hold on because of the Mercury in retrograde. You want to hold on to this marriage or this serious relationship. But again, it's not working. So you're deceiving yourself. Again, we're going back to, it's so funny how it's tying into our topic, right, Amanda? Our topic is what? When they call the psychics and they want to hear what they want to hear, basically, right? And this is part of that right now, the self-deception and whatnot, and wanting to hold on to the relationship or the marriage, and even though it's not working.
Right. That was great, Pastor Moses. Thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
So next we are going into Janet, and Janet will discuss the auras. Would you mind starting off, Janet?
Okay. Well, I did the color red. Now I'm going to do another color, and the lighter the colors, I want to say, the lighter they are, the more spiritual you become, and the darker the colors, the more you kind of think dark, and you don't attract the kind of the magic of the universe that we don't see but is there, and to help you once you have a wish or a dream or something. And so so each, you know, and I want to just say that each aura color has their own shade. So, you know, if you see God as a white light, then white light enters each trait of everything you do in your cells, and so it has meaning to you. And so from nature there are 4 basic shades: green, yellow, blue, and red. And we did the red. So now the blue is people who like the color blue are always they have a real strong sense of artisticness. In color, they're good in color and feelings and emotions. They do everything from their heart, except if it's a light blue. Now, if it's a dark blue, the darker the blue. Now, a regular, like royal blue, is a good color. I mean, I want to be clear, like a royal blue is a good color. It means you earned your money yourself. You're independent. You do things your way, the right way, you know, as a human being. But if it goes into like a gray blue or a depressing blue, that means that there's sadness in you, and they walk around always feeling sad. And I always tell someone, don't marry somebody if they have this grayish color or dark colors around them, because they'll say, well, my father did something to me, and my mother was no good, and that one was no good. But then they'll marry you, and then when the first thing you do wrong or that they don't like about you, they're going to transfer all that pain to you. And there goes your marriage. You're not going to get the love and the support you need when people have darkness in their aura. But the light blue people are the most loving you can find. They're wonderful. Yeah, I like them.
Wow,
Okay.
that was great, Janet.
It was, Janet. Can I ask you something?
Yes, yes, please do.
I have my favorite color, and I know Amanda has hers. So
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to see how you feel with that aura or whatever you get with those colors. So Amanda, what's your favorite color? Tell her.
Pink.
Pink was the next color I was going to do.
Okay, you want us to wait for that one, or you want to do another one?
No,
wait?
well, you know, pink. You
Go
know what
upstairs.
pink means? That she said pink. Can I just tell you what pink means? It's so good.
Yes.
First of all, we know, as a decent human being, she always wants to do what's right. But as pink, they're saying, I have so much love to give who I love. So I'm not going to be with somebody that's going to try to hurt me or go in denial that they're no good or anything like that. I want a pure, true love relationship, and I will be a good mother because I won't say negative, horrible things to my kids. I'll show love. I'll show fun. I'll show everything. And animals like pink people. So no matter how serious you are at work, where you have to do things maybe hard or whatever you're told. But as soon as you're out that door, you are a pink person, which has pure love to give and doesn't want anything less, and truly wants to be feminine and beautiful and do all feminine things and enjoy your femininity. And so you want to attract a male to your female. And so you will attract it because men love pink girls.
Wow. That's interesting. That is interesting.
Oh, colors are so good. There's so many aspects of it, but for her to say
Okay, my
things like
favorite.
that told me a lot.
Oh, my favorite color is purple.
All right. Now, purple, is it light purple, dark purple? What kind of purple is it?
I think I like more, medium, little light, little dark. I don't really know. Medium kind of purple.
Well, purple starts when little girls are like 8 or 9, and purple means that they now see the world as a kind of special magical place where they have fantasies and dreams. And this is the time when you have purple in your aura, you have the world as a possibility, and you could dream about it. And purple means that you're going to go to the highest level of your dream or fantasy that you may have, or you'll experience it, and you'll go higher than anyone. Say, oh, you can't be a teacher. I want to be a principal. I don't want to be a teacher. Oh, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to run the hospital. And I don't want to be a governor. I want to make the city perfect. These are people that are magical in their ways that people are attracted to. There's an attraction to purple. They're magical. Purple is a color of magic, even if it's a belief in the universe. We don't know the whole universe. We don't know the person who invented the phone. He had to have that magical purple color, because you can't go that high. You go as high as a human being could go according to they have to have a lot of support and help, because you can't do everything yourself. But the belief in the magic that things could happen, make them happen. They are the people that could make things happen with their dreams, their ideas. They're the best actors and producers and directors, and anybody that thinks the world could be a better place. They are so the color is that there's no stopping you to do and create all the things that you want to happen. And that's why, for you liking the color purple, they will happen, even though you go, wow, they really happen. Yes, because you made it happen. And people love magical people. All the queens and kings, all are purple auras that are they have a power to make things happen, and when nobody else could do it. So it goes beyond regular human stuff, even if it's in your mind sometimes. But how do you think all these stories, all those people that play on the TV and watch all those shows now in animation, because it's all a magical world. Everybody loves the magical world, but how many people can create the magical world? And that's what you are. And you should really be so happy that you have that extra little dose of magic in you.
Oh, okay. Great. Thanks for that.
Real,
Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Wow,
Wonderful.
that was really interesting, Janet. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too.
Yeah, I
So
like this.
next, we're going back into our celebrity tidbits. We're going to discuss, Wendy is no longer doing her show. Will she have any other shows in the near future? Pastor Moses, would you mind starting?
Sure. Okay, let's see if Wendy's going to have any other shows in the near future. I should have took the time to straighten the cards out, but I'll do it next time. Do not read upside down, only right side up, or reverse, and reverse is what people call it, because there's enough cards to tell you whatever they need to tell you, and that's more of a negative reading. Just to reiterate that again. Okay, so Wendy is going to be trying to find balance. She wants to be happy. That's what Wendy wants. She wants to be happy. And she's not finding balance right now. And that's her goal, is to be happy, find balance. And because of not even finding balance, even our health is being affected. And even emotionally, or mentally, emotionally, and physically, she's really not balanced. Doesn't mean that she's not crazy or anything, but she's just not balanced right now. So that's what she wants. She wants happiness. So when I look at that, I'm feeling Wendy thinking about returning back or doing the show again. She's thinking that maybe this is not going to work for her because she didn't have the greatest experience on the show all the time, especially towards the end. So she's looking at something else that she wants to do. And it doesn't feel like she's going to go back to a show like she had before. She might do something that doesn't consist of a regular everyday thing like she did on the show 5 days a week. She'll do something to bring in money. She's going to have opportunities. People are going to come to her and ask her, does she want to do this, do that, do this, do that. She might do touring. She might do things of that nature, maybe guest speakers, stuff like that. But I don't really see her doing a show again.
Thank you, Pastor Moses, for that. That was very good. So the next question for you, Pastor Moses, is Lori Schiller, Wendy's financial advisor, and Bernie Young, her manager, trying to steal Wendy's money by saying that she's mentally incapacitated.
Oh, okay. Let me check this out because I've heard about this. I heard a little bit about this. So her name is Lori and Bernie, right? Are they trying to steal the financial advisor and the manager? Are they trying to steal Wendy's money by saying she's mentally incapacitated? Okay, let's check. So here's what I feel. They are definitely working on trying to make her look like she's incapable of handling her finances. They're trying to make it look like she's incapable of doing the responsible thing. So they want to say that, yes, she's not. They even would go as far as saying that she needs to probably be locked up a little bit. When I mean locked up, I mean like a mental institution or something. And they want to just have more control. So yes, they want her to lose everything. Their goal is she lose everything because they're angry. Now, I don't know why they're angry. I don't know if she fired them, whatever she did with them, but they're angry. They're real angry at her, and they want to get back at her. So yes, they're going to act like they have a best interest in heart, that they're there to help her. But yeah, I do think that the intention is to make her very incompetent.
Thank you for that, Pastor Moses. That was interesting to hear. Janet, this question is for you. It is Wendy is no longer doing her show. Will she have any other shows in the future?
Okay, so because Wendy helps so many people feel good, and because right now it's been very hard for her. She has to go through this whole bad time with the bad planets and everything, because they're accusing her of things that she's not well enough, and she's discouraged and she's depressed from losing. When you lose love, come on, it's horrible. So now but then because people want to see her more, she made them feel good. They need her. She's still needed. So after all this dark side disappears, which I'll talk about later in a minute, but they're going to see somebody that knows how to organize talks and everything. She'll do a lot of appearances in shows and clubs and all different places and auditoriums, and they'll sell out. because everybody still wants to see her, and they want to see her for her authentic self. So she'll do as many as she can as she gets healthy. And there are people out there that know how to help her get well. There is natural medicine out there and things that can get her well as fast as possible. So after a time, I'd say no more than a year, she will be back in public appearances, and all those people that she helped are going to heal her from their prayers and their love of her. So she will be back in a more personal way where she can do what she wants to do as herself.
Okay, but Janet, I'm sorry. Will she have a show again like that, or will she just make appearances?
She won't do a show because there's too many controls, but she can do private shows, private filming. Everything she can do will be private under what she wants to do, and what the audience or people around her will help her and give her a new image and a new look where she can be more free of who she is, and she will have love again.
Okay, good. Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you, Janet. So the next question for you, Janet, is Lori Schiller, her financial advisor, and Bernie Young, her manager, trying to steal Wendy's money by saying she's mentally incapacitated?
You know, temporarily she's in a dark place, so you can't think about bills or money or anything. And the bank that she goes to, the bank is not an honest bank anyway, for hundreds of people that you've never heard about. But as a psychic, I know how many people that bank stole money from, and people don't know where to go when the bank steals. What?
Janet, I'm sorry to interrupt you. She's asking you about the manager and the financial advisor. Are they trying to steal her money? So Kate, do the question one more time. You can hear it.
I got it. I got it now. Yes. Okay. I just went a little far ahead. They of course they feel that because she can't concentrate that well, and you can always beat someone when they're down, and they are trying to take it from her. Of course, everything. And they don't know that she's not an ability to fight back or have clear thinking and have, real good protection. Right now, she's just missing protection, but they are trying to take everything from her. But she's not the only celebrity they have done that to. It's not because of her personally. It's because it's kind of known that this is being done to a lot of people. It's not just her.
Yes. Okay, good. Because I feel the same way. I feel like the Lori and Bernie, her financial financial advisor and her manager, they're definitely trying to make her look like she's incompetent in order to steal her money. You agree with that, right?
Absolutely. It's not even, that's the words they use that scare everybody. That's not the real words. The real words is that, she didn't know enough about the law to protect herself, or have people that could stand up for her and say, what the heck are you doing to this person? Go skip and do it to your next victim. They're used to victims.
Right. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was good. Thank you, Janet. So next we are going into our general readings. Pastor Moses will have a pick a pile for what's to come in Mercury retrograde. Would you mind starting, Pastor Moses?
Yes, we only have one pile left, and that's pile number 2. All right, so pile number 2, let's see what we got going on. So anybody who's thinking about picking pile number 2, this is what it says about how Mercury and retrograde is affecting you. They're saying that in the past, something happened that caused you to be extremely angry, and you are holding on to this anger. And it feels like what happened is that you wasn't prepared. You didn't know. You weren't prepared. You didn't know about it, and you found out. It was like they were keeping it from you, like a secret. It was keeping it from you. And then when you found out, you became extremely angry. So now it feels like because of that, you have somewhat of a trust issue. So even starting new relationships, you kind of don't trust. You're going in there with trust issues because of the past. And it's affecting you even more now because Mercury is in retrograde. And when Mercury's in retrograde, you know, past loves try to come back. We really, really focus on our past. We have to be careful with what do you call it? The phones, the internet, the technology, period, because of Mercury in retrograde, because things just get a little wonky. And you got to be really careful with communication. And this is funny because it feels like they found out something because somebody was lying, and they found out something and it caused them to be so angry, and they holding on to this anger. And now trying to move forward, it's going to be hard to move forward and get into a new relationship or start something new. So it really is affecting you from the past.
Oh, thank you for that, Pastor Moses. That was great. Next, we're going into Janet, and she will be discussing the auras.
Okay. So the next aura is is the one where we would call it the people that when you look at them, they kind of have a green aura, and you don't know what that means exactly. But if you go in a bank, the bank tellers all have green auras because all they do is count money all day, and they always dress like, you know, real conservative, and it's a need to feel safe, to do what's right, to do what's expected, not defiant, cooperative. When you like, the best people to hire are people who give off like a green aura. Yes, I do everything right. I will not do anything, you know, I won't break any rules. And they're afraid. Green aura people have a basic fear of not feeling safe or being fired. That's why companies know if you do something wrong, we're going to fire you, because the green aura people will always try their best to do what's right. The problem with green auras is that they work slower than the red auras. The red auras can do everything in half the time, but the green auras do everything. Like green aura people put their shoes, the women put their shoes in the shoebox, like a red aura just throws them in there. I'll go find them later. And so each aura color has different habits that are kind of predictable. Nothing's 100%, but the green aura people are very good to marry. They're usually not the most handsome because they're very neat looking, and so neat looking girls like them because they're neat, but they're also critical. If you leave your shoes out when you come home by the couch, oh my God, why'd you leave your shoes out? You're messing up the whole house. You know, so green aura people can be very critical, but they're very safe to hire in a job. They're the best workers. They will be there on time. They will leave. They're conscientious, and they're the most stable of people to marry. Green aura people really work hard to make the marriage work. And the only thing is, the woman has to put up with their annoying criticism because they like to feel they're right. They're always right. I had a friend once that was just really can do everything better than me, and then he would say, and I would say back to him, just, well, I wish I could be like you, but I'm me. So we just got along fine, and he grew to love me because of the fact that, you know, I didn't let his criticism bother me. It was his nature. I understood green auras, but I said, well, I wish I could be like you, but I couldn't. So he was happy that I admired him and I didn't accept that my craziness was any fault because it didn't match his, but we got along fine because of it. So you don't hurt anybody. And green aura people don't realize they hurt people with their criticism. The green aura people are the first to fall for advertising, where they say, you know, this will make you better, this will make you, you know, handsomer, this will make you, they like to, the advertising appeals to green aura people because they'll be the first to go, oh, I don't want to do anything wrong. They're really good employees, but as lovers, you know, they're predictable. They want, you know, they have a steady schedule for stuff like that. And you have to say, do you really love me? And they'll go, oh, yes, I do. But you're not saying it like, oh, I really love you. But that's a different aura color. So if you have a green aura man who brings you the money and does everything good for you, don't expect him to be emotionally he'll be emotionally inside, but he can't express it. But they like to do what's right. That's what I like about green auras.
Okay. So in other words, are you saying green auras are kind of predictable in the bedroom and you're not going to get like all these sparks?
They don't know how to, like green auras with like the yellow auras for bedroom stuff, because they are so exciting. They think up everything, but green auras can't do it. They say, "Oh, I just got to do everything right. Let me make sure I do this right." And they don't make noise. They go, they don't know how to.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I got a question since we're talking about that. Which out of the auras, which one is most likely to cheat in a relationship?
Reds.
Oh, why?
Because they're exciting. They're the most sexual. They have the highest level of testosterone in their body, and that testosterone, even if they desperately love their wives, the men, they can't help it, like the test will go, oh boy, I want to be with that girl. Oh, that one's nice too. Oh. And they can't help it. You can't tell a red or a man not to cheat unless you like tie him up or something. I don't know. It's very hard for them. They reek with sexuality. Even if they're not that good looking, they still reek with sexuality. So all the women are drawn to them like, whoa. And also they're the protectors. Red auras are the protectors, so they will protect somebody. They'll feel they're safe. They can get away with what they're doing because they're protective.
Okay.
So that's the deal there.
Wow. So here's the opposite. Which one out of all the auras is less likely to cheat in a relationship?
The green auras, because it's only every Wednesday night at 8:00. I mean, they can't do it any other time.
Every Wednesday at 8:00. Wow. Woo. All righty.
Something like that. The green auras are not. They're not aggressive to even approach a woman if they like them. They'll just hold it in their head and think. They'll have fantasies like Walter Mitty in the story of his fantasies, but they don't have that extra testosterone to be a little daring. They're very safe people.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting, Janet.
It was very interesting. Thank you. I mean, now I'm going to be looking for certain things.
Oh, they always have brown shoes, by the way.
Oh,
those light brown shoes. They wear light brown pants. They wear those little shirts with the little alligator on them, or a little, they buy these very conservative kind of clothes because they want to make sure they're doing everything right.
Oh, okay. So it's easy to spot. So a red aura, what would they be wearing?
Red auras, hot clothes. Like they love black. They love the leather jacket. They love the cool shirts that are wild, like daring. Remember Fonzie with his Fonzie, that sexual look. Like, oh man, you can't. A very clothes that are just. You could never put a red aura in beige clothes. Never. They won't even go near them. And they don't date beige girls, by the way. So those girls who wear those beige skirts and all that beige stuff, then no red aura will go near them.
So funny because my aura I think is red, right? Is that correct?
You're red, yes.
So here's the funny part. I hate beige. Unless it's on the wall, unless your wall is, painted beige, that's about it. I would never wear anything beige. Or I'm not crazy about brown either. I think brown's a little boring, but beige definitely a no. And then on top of it, I would, I always wanted to have like a convertible.
Yeah,
the top.
Exciting.
So I don't know if that convertible that's probably part of a red aura too, having the wind blow over here, right? When I was a little younger, I wanted a convertible. I really did. And also color red. I like little color red. I have a red car. So it's funny that a lot of things you're saying is true. I probably couldn't deal with a green aura at all. I would be bored.
Oh no, I can't bear them either. I can't. Only to hire them. I hire them. Do your job. I know they're going to do their job. They're not going to be sneaky. They'll do their job. They'll do it right, the best they could. And you have no trouble with the green auras when you hire them. But for personal relationships, you know, that you can't be a red aura girl with that, because red aura women are exciting women. They make everything exciting, and they so a green aura guy. Can't you?
Jen,
They don't
Jen, you're a
understand.
red aura. I'm sorry.
What?
You're a red aura, right? Are you're a red aura, right?
Yep.
There you go. What is Amanda? Can you pick up Amanda aura? What is Amanda?
Amanda is a blue, and she's a blue aura person with so much love in her heart that she doesn't even understand how much love she has.
Thanks, Janet.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about Amanda's. Oh, well, we got to do another round. Actually, this is our last round, right? On this?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, this is our last round, and then we have.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more. Tell us a little bit about for Amanda. Like, what would she be wearing? What's the type of energy she? What do you get with that?
With who?
I
didn't hear what you said. With who?
With Amanda, tell her a little bit about like maybe the type of clothes she would like, the car she like, the you know what I mean, the type of guy, whatever, with her blue aura.
Oh, blue auras. They always want things that are not repulsive. Like they don't like colors like ugly colors. You know, like some of these clothes. Mustard. They don't like weird ugly colors. They're not. They're more like crafts and fun things and cute things and nice little things, knicky knacks. They like a nice light colored house, or they want it to look very loving. They want everything to be, the undertone of everything is loving. Not, that's anything they buy. So they won't buy a chair that's uncomfortable because it looks good. They buy it because it's comfortable for their man. You see, everything is loving.
Okay. What kind of car was she driving? What color?
Well, she won't drive. She really would not be happy in cars that are like black or gray or dark brown or all those ugly colors. Or dull colors. She likes a color that looks clean and shines and looks like a happy color. Always happy colors. Happy. There's the colors that make you feel happy when you look at them. Pastels.
Wow. Okay. That's great.
That's interesting. Thank you, Janet.
I'm good. Yeah. It's good if you know who you are and you can embrace who you are. That way you can accept your bad traits too and just say, well, I got all the good red traits, so or I got the good
right.
I'm blue, so guess what? I'm not green or I'm not red, So you could, there's good and bad in every color is,
Right.
So it's not, it's all even. There's no right, no better one than the other.
Right. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
So next we're going into our topic of why when some people contact psychics, they are not open to hearing the truth.
Okay.
Pastor Moses, would you mind starting, please?
Yes. So I can give you an example too as well. But when people are calling psychics again, it's really about a lot of times it's also about how much they can handle. Sometimes they're not able to handle to hear the truth at that time. It's just too much to bear. So they're not open because they know it's too painful. They're looking at the fact that it's going to really, really hurt because it's not what they really are ready to hear and they want to face. So I had a client, a new client, and actually I think I actually got it from the YouTube channel from the show. She called and she wanted to know about she's making a move. She's making a transition, right? And she wanted to know how it's going to be on her job and this transition is going to be. And when I looked at it, I saw that she's going to be, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. And she has 2 kids. So I also saw a relationship that was breaking up. And I asked her, I said, well, I see something about a relationship. And she ended up telling me that her and her husband is separated. And so I said, okay, do you want to talk about that? And when she started to try to talk about it, she was all over the place. She was stuttering. She was all over the place. She wasn't making any sense. And I feel like she wasn't ready. You know what I mean? She was not ready. And I said to her, it doesn't sound like you're ready to ask the question. But what I'm seeing is that because you're stuck, because that's the first thing I saw, because you're stuck, and I saw that with her job and everything, I feel like this is part of it. If you're stuck in one avenue, you're going to be stuck in all avenues, whether it's your, relationship, your career, whatever it is, you're emotionally stuck. So I said, you need to really take time to talk about this so you can try to work through it and heal. And I said, whenever you're ready, call me or another psychic that you can work through this and get the answers that you need to the questions that you are not willing to ask. And she understood it, and she thanked me so much and told me I was a great psychic. But the whole thing was that she couldn't even ask the question. And I was like, I can't force her to do something that she's not ready to hear. So another thing, they're not really emotionally prepared. You know what I mean? They're not emotionally to hear because they kind of know the truth. We all know intuitively the truth. We know what is right, what's wrong, but it doesn't mean we're ready to hear it. Sometimes that self-delusion is there to help us. You know what I mean? It's not saying there's nothing wrong with you, but it's there to help us. It's there to help us be able to cope, but we're supposed to try to move through it. We can't stay in that place of self-delusion indefinitely, okay? Because then you're not able to move forward in your life, So again, people are not ready emotionally. They can't handle it. And the saying that God don't give you more than you can handle. So I did not force the issue. I knew she wasn't ready. So I left it alone. And whenever she's ready, she can call me if she wants to, and we can work through it. If not, I wish her all the, blessings in the world. But that's another reason. They're just not prepared emotionally to hear the truth. They can't handle it. They will lose, they kind of would lose it. So I think that's another reason why.
Wow, that was really interesting to hear, Pastor Moses. Janet, would you mind explaining why when some people contact psychics, they are not open to hearing the truth?
I think that if they go to a psychiatrist will make them break down everything so they could face what happened to them, and and you can accept the blame of what you've done and what they've done. But when you go to a psychic, you're going to someone that has the wisdom of everything, and that maybe even if something very terrible happened, maybe they could throw in a little bit of, but this will be okay at the end, and they might tell them something really good at the end. But if there's nothing really good at the end that they can accept, or even if it's too good, a lot of people can't accept happiness. When I do readings and I have something real good to tell somebody, it's hard for them to accept. So they can't accept. Sometimes the astrologer I went to told me that I would have this show and I'd be on this show, and I couldn't believe it. I almost didn't believe it, because some things that are too good to be true are also hard to believe, and so they don't want to believe it because they need hope, they need faith, and they like to think that, oh, well, the psychic didn't know what they were talking about, or they don't know what they're doing, or they're making it up, like they're trying to blame everybody to be the bad psychics, but there's really good wisdom psychics out there. But it's just too hard to believe that things are not going to be as good as they could be, where they really hope. They spent all that money for a little bit of hope, and then they have to find out the truth. Real psychics will give the truth. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna walk out of here with pain again, or should I go to the one that will I'll go to the bad psychic that will tell me what I want to hear. So, it's like the honest psychics just help you prepare for a bad time or a good time. And it's just hard to believe because, it's against all the TV advertising and all the other things you hear in the newspaper and everywhere else. But, at least they go to the psychic because they do know they're really going to get some really strong reality, and it'll give them time to digest it, even though we think they don't believe it right away. But then when it all happens, then they go, oh yeah, okay, so I'll go back to the psychic and I'll go. That's how we have repeated people all the time, because they know that there's another universe that gives us information. We don't know how we do it, but as long as we don't lie, we get information from a channeling from either angels or a higher source. I don't know where it comes from, but I think it's just the most amazing power the good psychics have. And I don't even know how I always know the name of somebody they're going to marry. I know too many things. I don't know how I know, but I never make it up, and it's always true. So it's just real exciting for the psychic too. But that's why they don't believe, because it's too hard to believe. It's just too hard to believe if something bad is going to happen. It's so painful. But it does prepare you. So I think their higher self wants to prepare themselves also for what's going to happen. But they just appear like they don't always believe it. But they always come back.
Yeah. You know what? Thank you for that. That's very good. And that, Amanda, why don't you tell her when you first got me and how you thought I was a kook?
Oh yeah, so I won't really go into the story, but I used to think Pastor Moses was crazy not because I wasn't ready to hear it, but in that moment, you're not sure that it'll play out that way.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Am I saying that right, Pastor Moses?
Well, yeah, because you had a certain thing that you wanted that you thought it wasn't going to happen. Remember?
Yeah.
She thought it wasn't going to happen. And then it did happen, because she said, remember you said, there's no way this is going to happen, because this is not what I usually do. This is not this is not me, right? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Not me. And she said, she's crazy. I ain't calling her no more.
I said I was never calling you back. Yeah.
It happened, right? A few months later, right? It happened.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, I gotta call her back. And she's been my client ever since. But see, a lot of people are like, oh no, I'm not accepting that. When we being open to possibilities, even though it might sound far-fetched, being open to possibilities. Because you never. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so next we are going to go back into our celebrity tidbits, and we are going to go into, does Well Fargos really believe that Wendy's incapacitated and she needs guardianship over her money? Pastor Moses, would you mind starting, please?
Sure. So Wendy Williams, Well Fargo believed that Wendy Williams is really incapacitated and that she needs guardianship over her money. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what I feel is that Well Fargo does not know for sure that she's incapacitated. So I feel like they're looking at the large amount of money she has in the bank, in their bank. They don't want to lose it. They want it to be there and stay there because it makes them money. And the longer she keeps that money in there, the more money they make. And it feels like they do not want to hand her money. And because again, she might take all of that money out. They don't have any real proof that she's incapacitated. They just going by word of mouth, and they are choosing to kidnap her money, to kidnap her money. And they kind of feel like if they get control over her money, then that money could stay there. They can't technically steal it, but that money will stay there. And the longer it stays there, the more money they can make. Again, they can let it out. They get interest on, they'll make interest on the money when they let it out. Whereas opposed to, you don't get that much interest in the bank, as everybody know. So Wells Fargo is worried that she is now not really on the show as much, right? She's not on the show, and that she can take her money out and go ahead and do what she want to do and take a large amount of money, and then they'll have less money because the celebrity is bringing a large amount. So yes, Wells Fargo is not really sure she's incapacitated, but they really don't care to know the truth. They just want some way to hold on to her money and kidnap her money so they can do what they want to do and have more money in their bank for a while or at their disposal.
That is really interesting, Customer Booth. The next question is Wells Fargo's freezing Wendy Williams' assets because she is under undue influence and financial exploitation?
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
For Customer,
Okay, so let me check and see. Say it one more time.
Is Wells Fargo's freezing Wendy Williams' asset because she is under undue influence and financial exploitation?
So undue influence and financial exploitation, meaning that somebody is trying to she's a victim. Somebody's trying to take her money, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So and it's probably those people we talked about earlier. So let's see if she's under Wells Fargo. So now they're trying to say Wells Fargo has her best interest in heart by freezing her assets because somebody's trying to make her a victim because they feel like her mind is not stable. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, this is quite interesting. So what they're showing me is that Wells Fargo do think that somebody's trying to steal her money, that they are trying to steal her money. And it's probably the two people we talked about, Lori and Bernie. It feels like, yes, and whoever else out there that wants to steal her, they feel like, yeah, they're trying to steal her money and they're saying things against her. Okay, they're turning against her. And because they're turning against her, and because they had to notify Wells Fargo or whatever, because Wells Fargo was feeling like they're telling them certain things because they want to control her money. Okay, and so they are looking out for her best interest on that part, but they're looking out for her best interest for their interest as well. So let me try to explain that. So it feels like they think it's she's a victim or they're trying to make her a victim. They're trying to steal her money, and they feel like that these people are not family or whatever, and they really trying to control her assets and things of that nature. So they feel like this bringing to their attention works for them. This is why they work for them, because they feel like if they hold on to Wendy Williams and have control of her money, then again, she can't take none out, and they can use it to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Let it out, what have you. So it works for them. It works for them to freeze her assets. You know, that the money would disappear. They feel like the money might disappear if they don't have control over it. Either Wendy might spend it and take it out because she's no longer on the show, or these people that are trying to get control of her assets will take it out, and then they won't have that money in the bank to do what they want to do. And you know, when people put their money in the bank, it doesn't belong to you no more. I know people don't understand that, but it doesn't. When you put the money in the bank, you're assigning your money over to the bank, and they have it in care of, and they allow you to take whatever you want out to a certain extent. Try to take over $10,000 out, or they're down, they want to report it to IRS. IRS? Why do you need to report the money that I've already had reported and paid my taxes on and put it in? And when I want to take it out, why do you have to be reported to the IRS that I'm taking it out? That's an intimidating tactic. You understand? So your money really doesn't belong to you. Most of the time they give you your money, but they only got 1% of your money in the bank. At one point, I thought it was 10%, but it's only 1%. So if everybody goes to the bank and try to get their money out, that bank will not have your money. Just like think about when the Depression, when everybody wanted to get their money out, when the stock market fell and people were trying to get their money out, the banks closed. And all these people who had money in their bank and had their security, they would find themselves homeless because the banks closed, the jobs, there was no more longer jobs, and people that had houses and lived comfortably on paying rent, and they had money and lots of money in the bank, they lost it all. They lost it all, and they were in the streets. So because the bank only had a small percentage of the money. So if everybody asks for your money, then they're gonna close the door. Now I know we talk about FDIC with $250,000, I think it is, that you have insurance. But think about it. If the market crash and everything, we get in a depression, how does the FDIC going to pay you if they don't even have that money in the bank because they loan it out like crazy? So they're able to loan out 99% of the money, and they only have to keep 1% because they're banking on the fact that everybody's not going to ask for their money at one time. And if they do, they're going to be in trouble. So you have to be careful of that. And then we switching over to cyber. I know I'm going somewhere else with this, but the cyber. So you have to really think about not keeping so much money in the bank. You know what I mean? Just in case they have, maybe a cyber attack, and then all of a sudden your money is disappeared because your money is digital. Okay. Your money is not tangible. It's digital. So once everything is the digital thing messes up, boom, it's just your statement and that's just a piece of paper with numbers on it. So keep in mind that, they want to control your money. They want you to keep the money in the bank because they make money off your money. And once you start taking your money out, then there becomes a problem, for the bank. Okay. The bank loses money, but they're not really caring about you because they just want to give you an nth of a cent if it's that much, you know what I mean? So again, back to what I said, they want to make sure that nobody steals her money. So they do believe that that's what's going on. But on a second part, they are freezing it too because it works for them if she keeps her money in the bank as long as they possibly can. All right?
Thank you, Pastor Moses. So this question is for Janet. Does Well Fargos really believe that Wendy is incapacitated and she needs guardianship over her money?
Oh, they're only going to use the really believe to pretend they really believe because then they have an excuse to hold her money. They're looking for anything for an excuse to hold her money. And that's not the only bank. I've worked with a lot of millionaires that have asked me to help them and in other ways, but a lot of people have lost their money through banks that are taking their money when they can, and they never publicize all the horror that's going on with the millionaires. So I try to tell everyone, just take your money out of the banks or leave a very small amount in the bank. But we got to find a new source of money, and those bitcoins are all fake. So forget that. And we have to find a way to preserve our money and our cash because there's just nobody fighting for people that are doing these things and using these ugly words like incapacitated. They make up a whole bunch of words. It's only words that are made up. It's nothing to do with what's really going on. Just protect your money, get it out, find another place to keep the money. Look at here in Brooklyn, all the Chinese people have bars on all their windows and 50 million safes. They're not going to put their money in the bank. It's just the minimum amount because they know what goes on. We just don't. But I do. Other people do, but not everybody. So you're not going to hear about what they're really doing to all the other people with millions of dollars. They really, yeah, it's not good. That's all I could say.
Thanks, Janice. So the next question is Well Fargo's freezing her asset because she is under undue influence and financial exploitation?
No. They're just holding it because they're looking for any reason to hold it.
Okay, Janice, so when they hold their money, what are you getting? Why they're holding her money? Why? And why they want to keep it?
It's the horrors of all the banks. What you said everything. I don't think there's anything I could add to what you said. It's a horror. Even these people here, all the seniors here, that what the banks do to them because they can't fight back. Come on. It's not, the banks are not like they used to be.
So you kind of feel like they're holding their money because they want to keep that money in the bank so they can utilize it to do what they need, right? Is that what you're getting?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yes, I said the same thing. I agree. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Pastor Moses, do you have anything you want to finish off with?
Well, yes, I could say a little bit more about the Wendy Williams and the bank situation. And then I think we're going to probably do a general again, I think, right? If I remember. But so one thing I'm grateful for is that it's public. Wendy Williams is loved, like Janet said. She's well loved, well liked. People enjoy her, watch her show. She's very popular. So she's a really, really decent star, a very good person, a lamb-like star. So that now that the bank, like the big banks, because Wells Fargo is considered one of the big banks, Citibank, what is it? Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. These are the big banks. And so when you get a big bank like Wells Fargo doing something like trying to take guardianship over her money without any medical examination or medical statement from the doctor stating that she's medically incompetent, and she's not even in an institution. You understand? So how are you to prove that or justify that you can kidnap her money? You know what I'm trying to say? Where's your justification based on what maybe somebody said? And you want to just hold the money? That shows a lot. If they have and I have not heard, and Amanda, tell me if I'm wrong, have you heard they have any doctors saying that she's incompetent, mentally incompetent? Yeah, and they said that she was out the other day, going out to dinner and going and hanging out. She didn't act irrational. She has a video stating that she wants her money, giving her money. I think that's on Instagram. Is that right, Amanda?
Yes.
So she's saying, I want my money. Give me my money. That's not fair. You should not hijack my money. Now, she, when they freeze her money, how is she paying her bills? They're not even giving her a stipend so she can pay her bills. They just freezing her money, taking her money and just saying, hey, we just think you're incompetent. But where do you get that fact from? We didn't hear anything that she go in the bank and act like she was crazy and you know what I mean? And look like she lost her mind. We didn't hear anything like that. So where do you get your facts from that you think that you can take her money and give her money? And I think I read somewhere when I was trying to understand this, that she's under this guardianship from Wells Fargo and she won't be able to have access to her money till I think July. Right? And then she's not even going to have access. They'll reassess the situation in July. So how she's able to pay her mortgage or whatever? She ain't able to pay anything because the money's not coming in like a paycheck coming to her like it was before. So they actually really, don't have a justification to hold her money. So I'm glad it's out in the open so people can start going back to not trusting the banks as much as they do now. Back in the days after the Depression, people was not putting their money in the bank. They were finding ways to hide their money in the house somewhere or whatever. They find places to hide their money. And this is what they were doing, because closed the doors and didn't give them money. And by the way, they never gave them the money back. It wasn't like, okay, after we get on our feet, we'll give you the money back. These people never got their money back from the Depression. Okay, so and then as time go on, the banks were thinking of ways to get people to trust them again. So back in the days, they'll give you 5% interest, and that people like that, and then they'll give you a toaster, a microwave, you know what I mean? All kinds of gifts they will give you if you open an account. All kinds of incentives, you know, until when it gets to a point where people trusting them again, and they're only getting in less than 1%. So now we need to go back to not trusting them so much anymore, because they are doing things like that to big stars. Wendy Williams, they're not allowing her to have her money without any real what do you call that? Without any real evidence, you know. So I feel like I think that this is best that in the limelight. I think it's best that people can understand what's going on with her and be a little fearful about putting all their life savings in the bank. I think that this is so important. I think you should really pay attention what they're doing to celebrities or what they're going to do to you. So think about it, guys. You know, be very careful. Maybe just have your money in the bank just to pay your bills, and the rest of your money, you know, invest it or put it somewhere. You know what I mean? Think about it. Okay. Janet, do you have anything that you want to add on this?
You said it all, but I didn't do the yellow aura. That was the last one. Is there time or not? Hello? Hello? Oh no. Hello?
I'm sorry.
Hello?
You're talking about an aura?
I didn't do the yellow aura. I was wondering if there was time.
Yes. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. What was you saying about
The yellow aura.
Wendy Williams? What was you saying?
No, I was talking about the yellow
Okay, go
aura.
ahead. You can do the yellow aura.
Yeah, can you hear me though? I can't tell
Yes,
if
go ahead. Do the yellow aura.
Well, I wanted to say that the yellow auras are people that have a part of their brain is a lot of imagination, and they're very creative people, and they kind of reach out to want to learn as much as they can, more than any books or anything. So they're very individual, independent thinkers, and so in that way they might dress in their own creative ways. They love fantasy. They love their life of fantasy. They're also on the negative side. You know, the really crazy people are yellow auras, because they don't think reality, where the green auras think reality. But the yellows, they think of fantasy, unusual. They're the creators. They can create cartoons. They can create clothes, designs, anything. And people could be a combination of all different auras. It's not all one aura. You can have a little red, a little yellow. It depends on the degree or percent of each aura color. But the yellow aura people are the ones that create the stories and the fantasies and all the real exciting, new, different kind of things in life that are just unusual. They don't like the same old, boring, quiet things. They always want something different and new. And so they're the designers of the world. And so yellow auras are good in a relationship because love is their biggest fantasy, and they like fantasy love. They like to meet somebody in a foreign country, or they want an unusual love story. Their love stories are always unique and different. So that's the yellows. That was it.
Thank you, Janet.
Wow, that was great, Janet.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
Do you have any finishing remarks before we end?
Who, me?
Me. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining. We appreciate y'all. So every Saturday, we're going to try to make it every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be on live. So it will be Your Psychic Friends with myself and Janet, and sometime we'll have another guest. but we are the star and co-star of the show, Janet and I. Okay, so please come on. And then our moderator, our beautiful moderator, Amanda, please do not
Thank
forget
you.
her voice. So, and she's a great moderator. Oops, I dropped something. Okay, so anyway, guys, please try to join us. We have a lot of experience between both of us. We're talking 70, 80 years between both of us in experience. We have read people all over the world. We have done readings in different aspects. We have done readings in psychic fairs. Janet ran her own psychic fair for a lot of years. I've ran some a couple of times myself. She has given classes. I've also given classes as well. She's a pastor minister. I am as well. We have so many. She has done all kinds of things and whatnot with her psychic stuff, including she does know a little bit about healing too. So, if you're having something that ails you, you can please contact her and she can see what she can do. She knows a little bit about natural herbs. She knows a little bit about, seeing in your body and kind of scanning your body and seeing what's going on. So, she would be good for, if you needed a health reading. So you can contact Janet at Brooklyn Jim, spelled BKLYNGYM at Yahoo. Is that Yahoo, guys? Yahoo.com or Gmail?
Mm-hmm.
It's Gmail.
I think
right?
it's Gmail. Yeah.
123. It's 123 at Gmail.
Okay, so you have the 123 at gmail.com. So you can contact her again, Brooklyn, BKLYNGMY123.com. Is that?
You said it's BKLYNGYM at Brooklyn Gym 123 at gmail.com.
Okay, cool. Thank you for clarifying that for me.
Okay.
I appreciate that. So you can contact her if you need a reading, you need a health reading, or you need a psychic reading, you can contact her. And if you need a reading from me, you can contact me as Psychic for Lovers. I have a website, so psychiclovers.com. I'm also, you can Google me, Psychic Lovers, and you can go to my YouTube channel and you can subscribe. I would appreciate that if you subscribe to my channel because we have a lot of new things coming up. Again, we're going to be on every every Saturday at 2:00 p.m. and that's Eastern Standard Time. So we hope to see you then. Blessings to you all. Thank you for coming on our show, and we appreciate it. And we'll have different tidbits for different stars every week.